Meet Wishart.
Well, Madam Deputy Speaker, that certainly was some night last week, wasn't it? The great European arrest warrant debate that never was. The night we apparently passed something as important as the European arrest warrant by proxy. There are certain things in my 14 years as a Member of Parliament that I thought I would say in the House of Commons as a member of this House. But to ask the Speaker that the question be now not put, now be put, is something which I thought would reside in a sketch for Monty Python, not in Hansard of the House of Commons. Now, I wondered how this would all appeal to our constituents, but my constituents loved it. They thought this was surreal comedy at its finest, to the extent that some said, if it's like that every night, Pete, because if it was, I would never have voted to leave this place. But here we are, all back in our places once again, like deja vu all over again. This time, we've only got an actual vote on the European arrest warrant to go along with the debate this evening. Madam Deputy Speaker, this is where this Tory obsession with European exit takes us. It takes us to the very point of withdrawing from a process that ensures the effective transfer of foreign criminals to face justice. It seems to me that in listening to some of the honourable gentlemen opposite, some of them who I have a great deal of fondness for and respect for, that anything that's prefixed with the word European is to be viewed with maximum suspicion. Anything that involves European cooperation and EU nations working together is to be resisted at all costs. And let's be clear, that's what it's absolutely all about, isn't it? This has absolutely nothing to do with the most effective and convenient way of ensuring that criminals are brought to justice, but everything about keeping Europe out of having any role in the institutional affairs of the United Kingdom. I'll give way to you.
I'll be very brief, and I'm very grateful. Can I just ask him to look through the other end of the telescope? Is it not his thirst and love for the EU that is encouraging him to put the expediency of a process over the justice for innocence?
Hear, hear.
I want to come to that point, and I will mention a particular case that quite concerns me about the use of European arrest warrants, so we'll come to the point the honourable gentleman is making. But what's the government doing about this growing Euroscepticism? Well, it's like it's in and out of the Home Affairs chapter, like it's doing the hokey-cokey at the UKIP Christmas party. First we're in, then we're out, then we're shaking it all about like a kipper in a Kent by-election. Now, this is either a really good day for this government to have a debate about the European arrest warrant, because firstly we've got the Rochester and Stroud by-election in a couple of days' time, and such as the extent of that, it looks like the Tories are going to be overwhelmingly defeated. But what this debate will do will minimise the rebellion this evening. But what it'll also do is also suggest to Farage and the rest of the UKIP and the Euro-exiters that this government's still in thrall to the European Union. And can I encourage the government, because they're doing the right thing tonight, and I support the government, take on the kippers a bit more than you do. Don't pander to them. See what pandering to UKIP's done. Your opinion poll has dropped faster than a UKIP comment in an equalities convention. That is what it is. And now this monstrous race to the bottom on EU exit and immigration has been joined by the Labour Party. They're getting stuck into it now too. And like, what they've got to do is have a look at what happened to the Conservative Party. Don't pander to UKIP. Take them on. It's the only way to do it. Our stock is rising in Scotland because we're prepared to take on this anti-European agenda, this nonsense about immigration. Isn't it time that the Conservative government and the Labour Party started to take on UKIP and not pander to them? I give way to the honourable gentleman.
Very grateful to the honourable gentleman giving way. Can he please explain why it is, as someone who wants Scottish independence, he wants to be independent of the United Kingdom government, but he wants to put himself completely under the European Union government?
Such a ridiculous point from the honourable gentleman. We want what all other member states of the European Union have, which is equal membership of the European Union, like Denmark, like Ireland, like Austria, like Finland. It's very simple to the honourable gentleman. But can I say to him, the UK is now heading to the European exit door like some stumbling drunk cursing something incomprehensible. And a bemused Europe just watches on, not knowing whether to sing "Please Don't Go" or breathe a sigh of relief that it could soon be relieved of the surly, semi-detached, self-obsessed member. This is a UK with one foot already in the outdoor of Europe, and it looks like it'll take my nation out with... I've got no more time with the honourable gentleman. Now, we were supposed to be a family of nations. That's what we're told you during the European independence referendum. Equal partners within the United Kingdom. But yet, Big Brother England will drag drag my nation out of Europe without its will. We're like a small brother to be scolded and be told what's good for us. I've got no more time to the Honourable Gentleman. I can't take any more intervention. And that's the reality for Scotland and Europe. We value our place in Europe. We see support for Europe way beyond what is happening within the rest of the United Kingdom. And the European arrest warrant is of critical importance to Scotland. We very much value that. We don't have the ridiculous, absurd examples that are brought, the insignificant, inappropriate cases. We have had 600 cases brought between Scotland and fellow member states within the European Union where the European arrest warrant has worked for us. We have our own distinct legal jurisdiction. We have our own procurator, fiscal officer, our own faculty of advocates, our own Law Society of Scotland. All of them support the European arrest warrant. And isn't it appalling the government couldn't even bother to lift the phone to the Scottish government to say that it would be withdrawing from the Home Affairs chapter in the European Union when this happened? Hardly any conversations with Scottish ministers or even Scottish officials about the renegotiation for opting back into some of these measures. I can't give way to the Honourable Gentleman. I said to him, I've got no more time. And this is what we see again and again, all the way through when it comes to these things. Disrespect for all the assemblies across the United Kingdom. No consultation, no discussion, just expect it to fall back in line. And they call that the... and there's one... I'm not giving way to them. I don't know how... I've got no more time.
The Honourable Gentleman is not giving way. Pete Wishart.
I've got no more time to give away. I want to address the point that we made because there was one really important case in Scotland. And this is a case concerning the Polish national Grzegorz Gamla, who was convicted in December of last year for the murder of Maciejana and Leith. He was arrested by the Polish authorities within 5 hours of a European arrest warrant being issued. We don't have any of the silly, insignificant and substantial cases that others remember. And I think that's because of the way that we have our own jurisdiction in Scotland, the way that we look at these things. And it's not the European arrest warrant's fault in all this. It might be the way that the Ministry of Justice looks at these things, and maybe they should be looking at their own procedures to see if they could be addressed properly. In Scotland, we don't share this Euro hostility that seems to pervade this House, the UKIPification of the UK, where Master Farage pulls all the strings and the Tory front bench dances along. The UKIPification of the UK is now almost complete. We've got the honourable member in his place. He will be joined by his friend on Thursday. I don't know how many of the other ones are going to actually be resigning. I would suspect there are going to be quite a few. My country is going to be dragged out of the European Union against its will because of this Euro hostility within this place. Madam Deputy Speaker, we observe these things. We don't want part of it. We're being dragged out against our will. I just wish, take them on. Take on UKIP. Stop pandering to them. Stand up for your own values, not to the values of the honourable member and his party.